How you doing? Let's have a conversation about how the flow of information impacts an organization's operation. Please join me on this journey of knowledge dissemination. Enjoy the video. In this discussion, I'll talk about knowledge transfer and how Airbus, the aerospace company, approached this challenge. Let's set the stage first. In the United States, roughly 10,000 baby boomers will turn 65 every day. This trend will continue until the 2030s. According to projections by researchers Jonathan Vespam, David Armstrong, and Lauren Medina of the United States Census Bureau, there will be nearly 95 million people 65 years or older in the U.S. by 2060, which would represent 23% of the population at that time. That is a lot of people who could potentially leave the workforce. Of course, some may continue to work due to various reasons: financial, mental stimulation, etc. For those who do leave, organizations should be mindful of knowledge attrition. For those who stay, organizations should be mindful of the dynamics of a multi-generational workforce. Today, it is entirely possible that an organization could have 4 different generations. Baby boomers, born 1946 to 1964. Generation X, born 1965 to 1980. Generation Y, or millennials, born 1981 to 1995. And even Generation Z, born 1996 to 2012. Either way, this presents a challenge as organizations grapple with how best to manage their institutional knowledge amidst such a shift in the workforce. More broadly, even without the aging factor, organizations should have in place processes that facilitate the flow of know-how to the right person at the right time. The future of the U.S. economy depends on organizations rethinking how they manage their intellectual capital. A 2007 case study written by Anjum explores how Airbus tackled the problem of knowledge transfer. The study was conducted at the Filton plant in Bristol, England. Yes, an entirely different country, but this is still relevant. The KM effort was initially aimed at improving delivery times of the A380 passenger aircraft. Airbus developed a process called the Knowledge Management Overall Diagnosis, KMOD. Here is what it looks like. The process is run by the engineering KM team. It involves the identification, assessment, and prioritization of knowledge areas. The result of this process is a knowledge map that shows levels of knowledge criticality and how to address knowledge needs within a department or operational center. Anjum describes 6 tools Airbus uses to implement KMOD. Tool 1, Extra. It stands for Expertise Transfer. It attempts to codify know-how. Tool 2, Yellow Pages. This enables users to connect with colleagues. Tool 3, Communities of Practice. Groups of people with common knowledge interests. Tool 4, RISE. It stands for Reuse, Improve, and Share Experiences. Tool 5, Knowledge Capturing and Publishing. This helps employees remain aware of best practices. Tool 6, Business Search, a KM platform that makes all of Airbus's knowledge accessible to employees. As great as these tools are, Airbus did encounter 5 primary implementation issues. Anjum identifies these issues as follows. Problem 1, lack of awareness. Problem 2, time constraints. Problem 3, lack of motivation. Problem 4, lack of employee involvement. Problem 5, fear of losing power and importance if knowledge is given away. This may also be called knowledge hoarding. These challenges scream change management. And who better than John Kotter to provide some navigation here? This well-known business thought leader outlines 8 steps for change management. Step 1, create a sense of urgency. Step 2, build a guiding coalition. Step 3, form a strategic vision. Step 4, enlist volunteers. Step 5, remove barriers. Step 6, generate short-term wins. Step 7, sustain acceleration. Step 8, institute change. Make it stick, embed it into the culture of the organization. Airbus's success likely had at least some of these elements. Anjum's case study describes 4 key takeaways from Airbus's KM efforts. 1. Successful change requires a supportive culture and incentive system. 2. Employees should be involved at the beginning stages. 3. Technology alone is insufficient. The people must want this. 4. A culture of trust and transparency is vital. Airbus is a great example of a company that gets it. They acknowledged the realities of the environment in which they operated and took action. I applaud the company for showing that KM is not just some idealistic academic theory. It is real, necessary, and very much feasible to implement. Although there are many measures for success, and it can be difficult to directly attribute KM efforts to various organizational outcomes, it is clear Airbus is doing something right. Since Anjum's 2007 case study, Airbus's stock has nearly quadrupled in value. Andrew Carnegie, the 19th century industrialist, business magnate, and philanthropist, is quoted as having said, "The only irreplaceable capital an organization possesses is the knowledge and ability of its people. The productivity of that capital depends on how effectively people share their competence with those who can use it." I couldn't agree more. Thank you for watching. I encourage you to provide feedback and participate in this conversation. Comment, subscribe, like, visit my website. I love to hear other perspectives because knowledge is for everyone.